The Lost Media. Once again, we're coming up on Halloween. If there's one thing people of all ages associate with Halloween, it's horror movies. Horror movies have existed almost as long as film itself has been around. As you might expect, there are some films that we may no longer be able to view, or have significant parts that are missing. Draculas Death from 1921 in Hungary is one of the first vampire movies. Additionally, it has to be one of the earliest film appearances of Dracula. The film was written and directed by Carol Lee Lagerthe and starred Paul Asconis as Dracula and Lene Meal as Mary Land. The plot dealt with Mary Land becoming frightened with a man in an insane asylum claiming to be Dracula, who then captured her for a satanic wedding. Very little else is known about this movie. There is also no known record of it being screened in the United States. However, a poster, 3 stills, and a novelization still exist. London After Midnight was a 1927 film directed by Todd Browning, who later directed Dracula, and starred Lon Chaney. Chaney played both the man in the beaver hat and Inspector Edward C. Burke, the former being a person who committed an unsolved murder, and the latter being the person who has to solve this murder. Despite being the most successful collaboration between Chaney and Browning, the film generally received mixed reviews. In 1935, Browning directed a remake titled Mark of the Vampire that starred Lionel Barrymore and Bela Lugosi. The original was not considered lost until 1967, when it, along with various other silent and early talking films, were destroyed in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Vault fire. Despite this, several still images still exist, and Turner Classic Movies produced a reconstruction in 2002 using these images. This was included in the Lon Chaney Collection DVD release. The original 1933 version of King Kong is one of the most influential films of all time, largely due to its advances in special effects. While this film got a sequel and several remakes, there was at least one unauthorized version made in Japan in 1938. King Kong Appears in Edo was released in 2 parts on March 31st and April 7th, 1938, and was directed by Soya Kamagi. The plot features a creature kidnapping a woman named Chinami, Reika Mishima, and her father, Rizaburo Ikawa, who has to rescue her. There is some contradiction as to the size of the creature, as the poster shows it in multiple sizes. It is believed that the creature is not called King Kong on screen, and this was only used for promotional reasons to cash in on King Kong's 1938 re-release. However, suit creator Fuminori Ohashi, who later created the Godzilla suit, referred to the creature as a giant ape. Regardless, all known copies of the film are believed to have been destroyed during World War II. The Shining is often considered to be one of the greatest horror films of all time, not to mention one of the greatest films directed by Stanley Kubrick. However, it briefly contained an epilogue that has never been seen to the public since the very initial releases in 1980. The scene featured Wendy Torrance, Shelley Duvall, and their son Danny Lloyd, recovering in a hospital after their husband and father Jack Nicholson, attack on them. They are visited by the Overlook Hotel's manager, Stuart Ullman, Barry Nelson, who claims that nothing unusual was found at the hotel and throws a tennis ball to Danny, referencing an earlier scene. In this version, the film still ends with Jack being shown in a picture from a 1921 4th of July party. This ending was included on the initial releases of the film in Los Angeles and New York City. However, at the insistence of Kubrick, the scene was removed from these prints and from when it went on a general release. It is possible that the footage was destroyed, but it is possible that it still exists, albeit away from the public eye, as evidenced by other material by Kubrick thought lost suddenly turning up, such as deleted scenes from 2001: A Space Odyssey being found in a salt mine. At least 3 still images and a screenplay for the scene still exist. This is perhaps the most obscure entry in this video, and ironically it's the most recent. The film was the brainchild of Santo Victor Ragusto, also known as Robert Harris, who throughout the mid-1980s would sell Santo Gold mail-order jewelry through infomercials. In 1985, he produced a film about human-eating aliens posing as wrestlers called Blood Circus. The movie featured wrestlers from Southwest Championship Wrestling. Additionally, Ragusto appears in the film as a singer named Santo Gold who sings a song about his jewelry business prior to a fight at the Baltimore Civic Center. After 2 years of edits, he was unable to secure a distributor and rented out several theaters in the Baltimore area. However, it came nowhere close to recovering its $2 million budget. The film was withdrawn from circulation until 2008, when the official Santo Gold website announced a print was found and they were looking for a distributor. Additionally, copies of a making-of documentary DVD were also for sale. No distributor was found for the film, and the print was later offered for sale on eBay in 2011, 2013, and 2015, but was never sold at any point. However, some footage does exist of this film, due to the fact that clips were featured in the Santo Gold infomercials, of which several can be found on YouTube. Maybe someday we'll have the opportunity to see everything that was mentioned here, but until then, I'll see you soon.